I'm so excited to be here with Linda Vickers. And Linda, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself to the audience and tell us about your brand new book.
Well, my name is Linda Vickers. I'm a certified wellness coach. And yeah, just I had experienced five grief. I experienced five losses within a short period of time in my immediate family. So it was debilitating, basically. And I needed to figure out how to do this and just stumbled through it and decided to write the book when I figured out how to
Awesome.
join life again.
Absolutely. Now, Dr. Joan talked about, her loss was dealing with a spouse. Now, you had a number of other losses, just, other family members. Uh, how your first book was about pausing, just pause.
Just pause. Yes.
And that book was, tell us a little bit about that book because I want to connect it to this one.
Yeah, thank you. So my first book was Just Pause, How to Reduce Stress When Life Happens.
Yes.
Life happens, and it was a memoir. I had a lot of life happens stuff. um, so there seems to be a lot of loss. And so the reducing grief, or sorry, reducing stress and grief really go together.
Absolutely, because I know that in your first book, you talked about it, and we're all just so busy. Like, everybody is just
Mhm.
we got a big list of things to do, which is always so busy, and life happens and stress happens. And one of the things that I got from your book was, or just even the title is, all right, just stop for a minute. Just,
Yeah,
just stop for a minute and kind of deal with this. And then we get to the grief.
yeah.
How
Just
does that concept of pausing, how do you work that in with the grief?
the whole thing. So Just Pause is the name of my business. And just pause means to stop, to just be still, just to regain our faith and our focus. And
That's
that
so
has helped.
powerful.
That's the only thing that got me through all of this.
That's
Um, the and
powerful.
the top three reasons for grief is death, divorce, and estrangement right now.
Wow. So
Those are the top
that's a
three.
whole nother concept thing that we don't often think about because when we talk about grief, most of the times we think of someone died. But
Yes.
there's so much other grief that we're
Yeah.
dealing with when it comes to loss. Can you share a little bit about some of those other losses that we're grieving that we don't even recognize that's what's going on?
Yeah, there's grief of a home. So if there's been a fire or something like that, but also in a divorce situation, and I'll maybe give you myself as an example. So I lost my house, my home of 25 years. I lost my neighborhood. I lost some friends. I lost my church because we split. So there was a lot of losses. And because of that, I lost my job. I had to find new work, the financial security, living in an area that wasn't necessarily safe. So there's a lot of losses and a lot of grief that's connected with divorce. Um, and with divorce, it also you have a split family, and grandparents aren't always able to see the grandkids. So
Yeah.
that's huge. So that's kind of it can happen with an estrangement can blend itself into the divorce, and that can also happen with death of a spouse as well. There's all kinds of things that can happen after the funeral happens.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah.
Now, in this book, you focus a lot on journaling.
Yes.
Can you share how that helps with the grieving process?
I think a lot of times we don't really know what's inside us. And so when we write, our heart can speak.
Mm,
Our heart can speak through the pen.
yeah.
We can just go. And that's part of the just pause reducing stress is just to find your rhythm. And I mean, some people
Okay.
journal by typing, but when we're actually writing cursive, it's a rhythm, which is very, very relaxing, just the whole rhythm of the pen. So our heart speaks when we're writing.
That's so powerful. And, as I'm thinking about it, when you're going through trauma, because all of this just, it's trauma. It's, whether it's however the grief happens, it's just so much trauma.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
and when you're going through trauma, you don't always know what to say, like verbally, and you don't know if you're saying the right thing, and you got all this trauma, all of this stuff happening. But when you're journaling, when you're writing, when you have kind of that private time with your heart, it's not being judged because nobody has to ever see your journal. So you don't
That,
have to worry about, am I
yeah.
saying the wrong thing? Or because, when you're dealing with loss and, uh, it's often been said that, you know, death, death and funerals and all of that, it brings out the worst in
It can.
families and
It
friends.
can. Yeah. Yeah.
And things get said that are just absolutely ludicrous, just absolutely crazy. And
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about dealing with that when it's you and your pen.
That's right. And often, I mean, to be realistic, we will have negative memories about the people we've lost. There's
Mhm.
positive memories, but
Mhm.
being honest and real, we have crappy memories too. But
Yeah,
when we're journaling, we can train ourselves. We can learn to flip the memory
yeah,
to be intentional. And how do we want to remember that person? The
right.
book actually started out being just a journal. And so there's journaling, there's questions right through at the beginning. The first, probably the first quarter of the book is just remembering the person because we
Mm.
need, and that's part of the healing process. People don't want to talk about our person that we loved.
Yeah,
We
because they're
still love
scared. I
them,
mean, they're
but
scared to mention that person. It's like,
totally,
oh my goodness, do
yeah,
I mention their lost husband or their lost child? Like,
yeah.
what do I
But
say?
it's not like we're not thinking of them. We're always thinking of them.
Right.
So this gives us an opportunity to record and remember, like I mean, all kinds of memories, just holidays, their favorite holiday, how a celebration of some type, their favorite food. But then I also go through all the wellness capacities. So are things going to change at work? How are we responding to work?
Okay.
No one else is grieving, but I am. So how's that gonna work? My memory's not going very well. Someone's trying to teach me something I can't remember. So how are we going to work with that? So I go through all of the wellness capacities, the wellness capacities as well. Just how to deal with things socially, environmentally. What do we
Wow.
and I've got a whole chapter on our sentimental stuff. It's like, what do we do with the stuff?
That can be a huge thing. That can
It
be a
is
huge thing. You now have this closet full of stuff or
an apartment full of stuff
apartment full of
or a
stuff.
home. Yeah. And that's realistic too. I mean, people will pull up a U-Haul and just toss it all, or they'll put it into um, one of those storage containers and let it sit for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
There's the extremes of both. So
Right.
I call it the sentimental journey. It's it is a journey of how to go through, and I give you some ideas of what to do with this because in the long, and basically it is just stuff. And if we keep looking back, we can't look forward.
Okay. So can you share one tip that you give for that sentimental stuff? Because I don't know if I have heard anybody talk about that part of it. Like, what do we do with the stuff?
Yeah. So just to put things in perspective, my grandpa and my dad built furniture. So I don't have just stuff. I have stuff that they built. Um, I have tables. I had two grandfather clocks. I had like there was 50 clocks that my grandpa built, and my dad had like tables and shelves and like so much. We we did decide what we wanted ourselves. We gave some to immediate family, then we started giving them to cousins, then we, and eventually like I don't need two grandfather clocks.
Yeah.
And it's like it's really hard, but realistically, well, one was a wedding gift. I've been divorced for like 15 years. I don't know if I even want that clock,
Okay. Right, right.
So I chose to sell that one. I mean, it was hard,
Hmm.
but I still had the other one.
But it's
And
things you have to think through. You have to go through that process.
and be practical because it just doesn't make sense to keep. I mean, how many sets of china dishes? How many,
It makes sense.
China is a hard one.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Linda, where can people go to get this book?
Uh, well, they can go to Amazon. It's on Amazon. They can also go to my website is justpause.live.
I love that. Oh my goodness. So we will put that link
Justpause.live.
here in the group as well and out on Facebook. So it is justpause.live, right?
Yeah.
Not .com, .live.
Yeah.
Linda, what is one message you want people to walk away with when they read your book?
When they read my book. I think grief, I tend to think of not stages of grief, but I call it stages of healing. And we don't go through it. We go in and out of it. It's part of life. I don't know that
Mm,
we're ever done with it.
mm-hmm.
But if we're looking backwards, we can't look forwards. Um,
Yeah.
I know myself, I got stuck, and we have to grieve. We can't just shelve it. We do have to grieve. So it was it's important to
Look
go
forward.
the process and think forward. And part of like the people that we love are part of who we are.
Mm,
So to take the best part of them with us into tomorrow.
awesome. Thank you so much. Linda, how can people get in touch with you?
With me, that would be my website. Yeah. Just pause.live. Yeah. That's probably
Awesome.
the easiest way to.
Awesome. Well,
I am on Facebook if they want to just look me up on Facebook.
yes, jump in our DM if you have questions and because Linda, you are a coach as well. So
Yeah.
if somebody is listening to this and you're like, okay, I hear what she's saying, but I need to talk to somebody. I need somebody to kind of hold my hand and walk me through this. Make sure you get in touch with Linda. Thank
Thank you.
you so very much. Thank you so much. Oh,
Thank you. And can I tell everybody how much I like the class?
you can. Now, Linda, you have
So
been with us. Oh my goodness.
this is my second time.
This is your second book, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how has this class helped you?
Um, I don't, well, I'm like Joan, I wouldn't have gotten anywhere if I wasn't in the class. It's the accountability I need, and the encouragement from everyone else in the class. And it's just, it's friendly and it's safe and we're able to talk things out. And it's good connections too. I've made some good friends through this group.
Awesome.
So
We have an
yeah,
amazing community, don't
yeah,
we?
it's good.
It is
It's good.
absolutely amazing.
And if I needed help again, I can I can call you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I am so excited. I'm so excited for your next book, whenever your next one. Have you
I'll be
thought
back in
about it?
September. I'll be back in September.
Okay, awesome, awesome, very good. All
Yeah.
right, so we are going
So
to,
I'm just gonna hold this up for
yes,
people to
hold the
see.
baby up, hold the baby up. Yes. Awesome. That is
That's
beautiful.
great.
That is
Thanks a lot.
beautiful. Congratulations. Oh, and Linda is also an Amazon best-selling author, because you launched your book a little early. And
I
so,
did.
yeah, so you had some amazing results. And again, guys, if you know someone who is dealing with this grief journey, get these two books, okay? Get these two books. They are going to help so very much. Linda, I'm gonna have you to give the name of your book again.
Yeah. Just Pause to Grieve. It's a journey of hope through loss and recovery. It's a guidebook and journal. And it does have information into various types of grief because there's actually a lot of different kinds of grief, as well as different reasons of grief. Um, there's ways to remember and honor your special loved one. There's coping methods for the emotions, and I do go through the emotions. Suggestions for self-care and personal health and wellness. Again, what to do with sentimental items and opportunity to learn how to create a life that you'll love. So
Awesome. Thank you
that's,
again, Linda. Thank you so much.
thank
All
you.